Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. How do you remember it? With so many ways to play, which paths did you take? Which character model did you choose? Do you remember meticulously crafting your character? Lightsaber duels? Raining lightning down on your enemies? Well, I can't do any of that cool stuff, because I'm here to answer the age-old question. Can you beat Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic without leveling up? First, some ground rules. Number 1. No leveling up. That means no leveling up the main character, no leveling up my party members, and definitely no flu. Number 2. I must start the game from a fresh save file. And number 3. No glitches of any kind. Let's get into it. The game opens on board the Endar Spire. We're under attack by a Sith battle fleet.
We've been ambushed by a Sith battle fleet.
And we need to escape. As this is the tutorial, we make short work of all the enemies. However, it doesn't take long to run into our first major obstacle. This door won't open until you level up. Can you beat Knights of the Old Republic without leveling up? Nope. Well, thanks for watching. No? That's not good enough for you? It was worth a shot. So, it's time to introduce rule number 4. Ignore rule 3. We're using glitches, baby. Let's go. However, I'm going to be trying to use as few glitches as I can. Where possible, I'm going to actually be fighting the enemies. For the most part. More on that later. With that said, we need to make a new character. Our class isn't that important, but I decided to go with Scoundrel. Since Scoundrel gets the most points to spend on skills, and this will be our only chance to do so. As an added bonus, Scoundrel is the only starting class with Persuade as a class skill. Keep that in mind for later. For attributes, 18 Dexterity, 10 Constitution, 16 Intelligence, and 10 Wisdom. I'll have time to go into these choices later, but for now, I'll just cover the attributes we don't care about. Strength is for using melee weapons, which we will not be doing. And Charisma improves our force powers, our force points, and our persuasion. But in order to get force powers, we need to level up. Skills. With 16 intelligence, I have enough points to max out every skill except for treat injury. Our Constitution gives us a +1 bonus to our health each level. Since this is our only level, we only get 1 extra health, leaving me with 6, and making treat injury useless because even a basic med pack heals for 10 hit points. As for the rest of the skills, we will discuss them as they become relevant. Feats. The only one we want is medium armor proficiency, which is necessary if we want to wear medium armor. And finally, we need a name. Noel Voling. Perfect. Let's get into it. Again. The game opens on board the Endar Spire. Let's skip ahead. And there. While I walk into this debris, we need to talk about DLZs. DLZ stands for Displaced Loading Zone. As I understand it, the loading zone for the next area is way off in the distance. But so long as our coordinates follow certain rules, the game considers that close enough, and lets us through to the next area as if we had just walked into the loading zone. So, we just skip past that whole section and don't need to open that door at all. This process also removed Trask from our party, which is great because he sucks. The rest of the Endar Spire is pretty uneventful, but I'll stop here to explain one small thing. Computer use allows you to overload terminals and instantly kill enemies, and repair lets you fix up droids to fight the enemies for you. But you don't actually need computer use or repair. As long as you have enough computer spikes or repair parts, you can use either skill as if you were a pro. Those enemies mark the end of the Endar Spire and the tutorial, so this is where the fun begins. Remember when I said I was going to use as few glitches as possible? I lied. The first thing we're going to do upon reaching Taris is perform a credits underflow. But first, we need to perform an AMG. which stands for Anywhere Menu Glitch. Now, this glitch is really complicated, so pay attention. First, quick save the game. Then, while the game is saving, press Alt F4. That's it. Back to the credits underflow, open up another menu and close it. This will allow us to regain control of our character. Next, talk to a shopkeeper. Our goal is to find 2 items. The first needs to be affordable and cost more than 50 credits. The second also needs to be affordable, but cost less than 50 credits. The threshold for the purchase confirmation window to pop up is 50 credits. This will become relevant later. And finally, we should not be able to afford both items. We then attempt to buy the first item. Since its cost is over the confirmation amount, and we activated the Anywhere Menu glitch, I told you it would become relevant later. The confirmation box is hidden behind the Quit menu. Next, we buy the second item. The game will let us because we haven't confirmed the purchase of the first item yet, and therefore still have enough credits. We can then close the shop menu, and finally confirm the purchase of the first item, underflowing our credits into the negatives and allowing us to buy whatever we want. Unfortunately, you can't pay bribes or docking fees with negative credits, so my next goal is to turn these negative credits into positive ones. To do this, I'll be using a full inventory duplication. But before we start, I should get an inventory worth duping. I'll have access to better stuff once I get off Taris, so for now, I'll just focus on medpacks and explosives. Enter the hideout and perform the Anywhere Menu glitch. Open another menu and close the Quit menu. Unpause the game and exit the hideout with the menu still open. The game will prompt you to select your party. Do not bring anyone with you. Once outside, you can start adding members to your party. Each party member you add will bring an extra copy of your inventory into the game. I only have Karth right now, so I might have to do this a few more times. Great. It's time to get things rolling. Our goal is to find Bastila,
I might have something to say about that.
a Jedi Knight and the commanding officer of the Endar Spire. She's also the only one who knows anything about our mission. I conveniently have amnesia, and Karth is an idiot.
I'm Karth.
I think that's canon, right? Anyway, we need to go to the lower city and talk to the leader of the Hidden Beck Gang. And where better to find the leader of the Hidden Beck Gang than in the Hidden Beck Base? But with a name like the Hidden Beck Gang and the Hidden Beck Base, this place seems like it's going to be hard to find.
Hey, you can't just walk in here. This is the Hidden Beck Base.
Oh. Luckily, the Hidden Becks are a rather practical bunch that don't see the point in hiding their base. Or keeping strangers out, for that matter. So they let me in.
Go in and speak to Gadon if you want.
Their leader, Gadon,
They might be spies, Gadon.
Calm down, Zerdra.
is just as trusting, as he decides to tell me everything he knows about Bastila,
I suppose I could tell you what I know.
and even sends me on a mission to retrieve his secret prototype swoop accelerator for him. This is all part of a master plan to rescue Bastila,
The only hope you have of rescuing Bastila is to somehow win the big season opener of the swoop race.
so we oblige. And I'm realizing now that this story is taking way too long to explain and doesn't have anything to do with this challenge. So I'm just going to break down everything we need to do on Taris so we can move on to the more interesting things. We need to travel to the Endar City, find Mission and rescue her friend Zalbar,
You'll help me, won't you?
sneak into the Black Vulgar base and steal the prototype accelerator, enter and win the swoop race,
And you have the look of a racer about you.
rescue Bastila, break into the Sith base and steal the launch codes, and finally, get into Davik's estate and steal the Ebon Hawk to escape Taris.
Okay, we're inside.
Which should be easy enough. I might be level 1, but my party members aren't.
So how do
Karth is level 4,
Karth is one of the Republic's best soldiers.
Bastila is level 3, Mission's also 3,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Zalbar's 4, and Canderous is level 5. But there are a few hang-ups.
Too bad.
During the swoop race, I can't have any party members with me, and I have to fight Brejik.
People, hear me!
Luckily, Bastila is here to help.
You underestimate the strength of a Jedi's mind.
She's not officially a party member yet, so if I die, it's game over. But I came prepared with energy shields.
What? Impossible.
Energy shields act like a second health bar. Each shield can be used 5 times before being consumed. And the shields I have will protect me from up to 20 energy damage with each use, which protects me against blasters, but the guy who keeps killing me is using his fists. So I also take advantage of stims. There are 4 types of stims: alacrity, stamina, strength, and battle. The first 3 stims boost your dexterity, constitution, and strength respectively, and battle stims boost your hit points and your damage. The battle stims are the best, but we don't have to pick and choose. We can use all 4. We can still get one shot pretty easily, but if I can avoid everyone long enough for Masterla to take them out, we'll be just fine. Our next obstacle is the Sith Governor.
Who dares to break my meditation? You.
I've got my party back this time, but the Sith Governor is a tough enemy.
Who would have thought
He has high health, damage, and loves to use force powers.
the Force adept
Force powers are going to be an issue, as they can't be dodged.
could be found
Instead, a saving throw is made to determine their effect.
on this insignificant
There are 3 classes of saving throws: Fortitude, Reflex, and Will.
planet.
At my level, I can't expect to make saving throws against all 3 difficulty classes, so I need to rely on equipment.
But your talent
Various items provide immunities to certain effects, the most powerful being immunity to mind affecting,
is no match
but that leaves several powers from which I have no protection.
for a disciple.
Since my high dexterity grants a decent reflex save, and there are only a few fortitude saves that immunity won't protect me from, I'm really only worried about will. This is why I spent 2 points in wisdom.
Of the
It's not much, but it's better than nothing.
dark side.
Grenades are really ineffective in this fight because the Governor uses a melee
here.
weapon, meaning our grenades are going to damage the party more than they are him. If you saw my KotOR 2 video, I think you know what's about to happen.
Mine laid and ready. Mine laid and ready. Mine laid and ready.
Who dares?
Now, don't you worry. We're going to blow up the Governor in a second. But we should talk about mines first. And why, in KotOR 1, they kinda suck. In KotOR 1, enemies don't level up with you. Instead, enemies have fixed stats and locations. And occasionally, the game adjusts which enemies it sends at you, depending on arbitrary level ranges hidden within the game, or based on your progress through the story. But for the most part, enemy difficulty is fixed, which means enemies are going to have a lot of health. We can only have 15 mines set at a time, and mines are also a lot harder to come by. There are 3 tiers of mines: minor, average, and deadly. There's no crafting system in this game, and no merchants that sell deadly mines. So if we want to use deadly mines, we either need to loot them from containers, which you won't find until the very end of the game, or recover them off the ground with a high demolition skill, which we can get, but before we can recover a mine, we need to detect
What?
it, which requires a high awareness skill, which we don't have. All in all, mines just aren't very effective. How long was that? More than a second? Ah well. And that's Taris.
You may have me outnumbered and outgunned, but if I'm going down, I'm taking all of you with me.
Pretty much. Our next stop is the Jedi Academy on Dantooine.
They're waiting for you inside.
Thank you, Karth. The Jedi Council wants to train me to become a Jedi.
We must begin your training at once.
Understand that there is little choice in this matter. For you,
Do you remember earlier when I said to get force powers we need to level up? But in order to get force powers, we need to level up. This is what I was referring to. Becoming a Jedi means choosing a Jedi class. I'm already a level 1 scoundrel, and you'd think that I could just switch to being a level 1 Jedi. But that's not how it works. In Knights of the Old Republic, your class levels are separate, so I would become a level 1 scoundrel and a level 1 Jedi. That sounds like a level up to me. And more importantly, the game treats it like a level up. If we became a Jedi, the game would consider us to be level 2. No matter which way you slice it, we gotta find a way out of this training. The Jedi training consists of several steps. First, there's a cutscene where you learn the ways of the Force. Then you have to recite the Jedi Code.
First, I will test your knowledge of the Jedi Code.
Next, you are asked to choose your Jedi class and corresponding lightsaber color.
The time has come for you to choose the color of your lightsaber.
And finally, you are given a final test to investigate a dark presence in a nearby grove. It is precisely between these last two steps that the game forces you to level up.
Indeed.
Normally, you have to do each of these steps in order, but the final test is located outside the Academy, and the door to leave is locked.
The Council has decreed you must not leave the Enclave.
So the game doesn't expect us to be able to go there yet. That's right. We're doing another DLZ. You're probably thinking to yourself, these tricks look really precise. How the hell do you find them? I don't. Anytime I want to do something impossible, I just pop over to speedrun.com. 9 times out of 10, someone else has already figured out how to do it. Now, in the speedrun, they take it one step further. They don't even bother to finish the training. But, as I said, my goal is to complete as much as possible. We don't actually have the quest, but the game isn't prepared for us to be here. When we arrive at the grove, the quest proceeds as normal.
I will be your doom!
First, we need to defeat Juhani, which is easy enough.
You are strong.
And then, we have a choice. I mentioned earlier how Scoundrel is the only starting class that gets Persuade as a class skill. Well, that just became relevant. As a class skill, the max rank at level 1 is 4. Otherwise, it would be 2. At 8 Charisma, we have a -1 bonus to Persuade. We could have taken Empathy as our feat, which gives a +1 bonus, but didn't. Since no items give a boost to Persuade or Charisma, our Persuade is stuck at 3. To persuade Juhani to turn away from the dark side and avoid killing her, we need to succeed 3 medium persuasion checks. As luck would have it, persuasion checks are based on your level. The wiki even has a handy table for looking up success rates. Although, for some reason, this table doesn't have a column for level 1 characters. Ah well, it also provides a handy formula. For medium difficulty, we need at least 2 persuade, which is why I picked the Scoundrel class. The other classes need to spend 2 attribute points, or their only feat to do this, both of which can be spent on more important things. That being said, we should be about done trying to convince Juhani now. Excellent. Juhani is one of the highest level party members you can recruit, and she has the ability to stealth, so let's hope she's worth it. Now that we've completed the final test, we can go back to the Jedi Council. They've forgotten all about that training nonsense.
You have done well.
And decide to give us our first mission.
It is good to see your when we the yours.
We need to go back outside and investigate an old ruin. The door to leave is still locked because we skipped the trigger that unlocks it, but there we go. The enemies outside aren't too tough, and I opt to fight them. Inside is a different story. There are 2 droids each guarding a console, and both consoles need to be activated to open up the final room. These droids have energy shields, and worst of all, carbonite projectors. Let's take a bit of a break to talk about combat. Most attacks have a % chance to hit. Your opponent makes an attack roll against your defense. Dexterity gives you a bonus to your defense, which is why I started with 18. If an opponent's attack roll is higher than your defense, they hit. Otherwise, they miss. But as I said, that's how most attacks work. Other attacks have a 100% chance to hit. And the only question that needs answering is what will that hit do? Grenades and mines are pretty straightforward. They deal a set amount of damage, but if a saving throw is made, that damage is cut in half. This is the same for flamethrowers and carbonite projectors, but with an added twist. They also have a 100% chance to cause an additional status effect. For carbonite projectors, that means getting frozen from anywhere to 3 to 15 seconds. Now, for my character, that doesn't matter because I'm dead anyway. But for my allies, being frozen is as good as being dead. While frozen, or under the effect of any stun for that matter, you receive a defense penalty of -4, and your dexterity bonus is not added to your defense or your reflex saves. Which basically means every single attack is going to hit. As an added bonus, if your character is under level 5, any melee attack will be an automatic hit causing instant death, which I just learned right now as I was writing this script. Point is, I do not want to fight these guys. I can sneak past them and activate the terminals though, which works out about as well as can be expected. With the terminals activated, we can get access to the star map, and our mission is complete. Going back to the Council, we are given our final mission and can explore the galaxy at our leisure. Let's break down the main quest. There are 4 more star maps on 4 different planets. We need to travel to each planet and locate the star map in order to unlock the location of the Starforge. Finally, we must go to the Starforge and defeat Darth Malak. Of course, if we're going to do this at level 1, we're going to need some more gear. No more half measures. I want the best gear money can buy. For explosives, that means average plasma mines, which are sold on Kashyyyk.
You're on Corriban?
I can pick up life support packs, hyper-adrenals, and Achani battle stims, as well as Verpine bond gauntlets, an Ariadu stealth unit, and Cassis Fett's heavy pistol. And on Yavin, I can snag the Baragwin stealth armor and advanced stabilizer gauntlets. Unfortunately, this isn't even enough gear for just me, so it's time to dupe. But hold on, duping my entire inventory is starting to become a real pain. It's quick and easy, but there are certain items in my inventory that I really don't want to dupe. I have well over 100 Bazak side decks at this point, and that number is just going to keep multiplying. The Bazak side deck is treated like a quest item, as I can't remove it from my inventory. I'm not sure how many of these you can have before the game crashes, but I don't really want to find out. So, I'm going to be resorting to single item duplication. The process is quite simple, but isn't nearly as effective. First, I can only duplicate equipable items. Second, getting multiple copies of an item takes a whole lot longer. Here's how it works. Grab as many party members as times you would like to dupe the item, which is pretty much always going to be 2. Then pause the game and have 2 of your party members queue in action. I chose using a battle stim, as I've got 100 or so of them to spare. Unpause the game and allow the action to start. Pause the game during the animation and open up the menu. For each party member mid-action, attempt to equip the item you want to dupe. This will queue up the equipping animation to play after they finish their current animation. You'll also notice that the item doesn't appear in their equipment yet. Now, equip the item to yourself, or whoever isn't mid-animation. The item will equip normally. To proceed, close the menu and unpause the game. Your party will finish the animation and attempt to equip the item. Finally, quick save, quick load, and you're done. All 3 of you should now be holding the same item. And you are free to unequip it, use it, sell it, or whatever else you'd like to do. Of course, each party member can only hold 2 weapons, so I'm gonna need a few more. Just give me a... There we go. I'll be going to Kashyyyk first. The order of planets doesn't matter that much, but there are a few things to keep in mind. Each time you find a star map, the main story progresses a little, which typically results in the next boss being spawned on that planet. Ignoring the star map on Dantooine, this is the first star map. And so the game is going to send the first boss to the first planet we go to. Actually, the game will keep sending this boss all around the galaxy, confronting us on every planet we go to until we defeat them. This boss is Calo Nord. You may remember him from earlier. He's the easiest boss, so I want to face him on Kashyyyk, as it is the worst location to fight in. Remember this for later. There's no opportunity to place mines before the fight, so we're going to improvise. Energy shields are a must here, but one of the Wookiees is using a vibro sword. And since grenades aren't useful against melee opponents, we're going to have to blast them down. I suppose now would be a good time to explain combat turns. All combat in this game is turn-based. Every turn, each character is allowed 1 action. I normally just spam the same attack, but in tougher fights, it becomes very important to heal. Unlike in KotOR 2, once you go down in combat, you can't get back up. Taris is my best tank, but he's also my best DPS, so I have to balance dealing damage with keeping him alive. Or do I? Using a medpack is supposed to take an entire combat turn. There's a whole animation that plays and everything. But if you use a medpack from your inventory, the medpack is used instantly, or more likely, it gets used at the very start of your next combat turn. And to top things off, it doesn't cost an action. We're still limited to 1 medpack per turn, but this is a major improvement. There's probably a lot more I can tell you about combat turns, but... Nice. The rest of Kashyyyk is pretty straightforward.
We're under attack!
Bribe some guards, make a friend.
Match found.
Sneak past all these dumb enemies. What? You didn't think I was going to fight every enemy, did you? Grab the star map and run home. Our next planet is Manaan. Manaan is going to play out pretty normally. You start by solving a few math problems, then you break into the Sith base. Who hasn't done that before? Then we get arrested, there's a trial, we fire our lawyer, lie through our teeth, and make off scot-free. And now, I think I've earned a vacation. I've always wanted to try diving. Looks like I'm not the only one who thought today was a beautiful day to explore the natural beauty and crushing depths of the bottom of the ocean. Hey, friend.
All my companions are dead.
And he got eaten. As it turns out, there are a lot of sharks in the ocean, and this is not a very good vacation excursion. Good thing I brought my blaster along. Wait, what? So, if you don't know, you're supposed to fight these sharks with a sonic emitter. It's an instant kill, and this whole section is just supposed to be kinda spooky. But occasionally, the game bugs out and issues an auto-attack command, which isn't supposed to be possible underwater. Anyway, everything is working properly now. One final math puzzle, and the second star map is ours. There's no second boss, so we're free to move on.
It's horrible.
The third boss is a 2-for-1. After finding the third star map, we will be confronted by Darth Bandon, Malak's apprentice. Then, by traveling to another planet, we will be intercepted by the Leviathan.
It's the Leviathan. Saul Kareth's vessel.
Yes, thank you, Karth. In terms of length and difficulty, the Leviathan is basically its own planet. We get captured, they take all our gear, and one of our party members needs to save us.
It's going to be up to one of the others to get us out of this.
This is why I picked Juhani.
You speak the truth.
But that's not actually important right now. Also on board the Leviathan is a buttload of Sith. Many of them are grenadiers, which is real scary, and the rest are real tough. Or have horsepower. But none of these enemies are as scary as the Leviathan's final boss. DMFM. Darth motherfucking Malak.
Darth motherfucking Malak.
I have to fight Malak in single combat. In a tiny room with no chance to place any mines.
We shall finish this alone in the ancient Sith tradition.
I have no idea how I'm going to do this, which is why I'd like to do a little preparation. On my wish list is 3 items: environmental bastion armor, Usanis' dueling shield, and thermal detonators. The armor is easy enough. The shopkeeper on Yavin sells it after reaching the second star map. I already picked up thermal detonators somewhere, I just have to remember to dupe them before I leave. And Usanis' dueling shield. This is a nice shield, which makes sense why there's only one in the entire game. It can block 100 points of energy damage before using up a charge. Let me put that in perspective for you. That's over 16 of my health bars. So like, 2 hits? The important thing is that it blocks energy damage. Malak wields a lightsaber, and lightsabers deal energy damage. So, where do we gotta go to get this thing? Corriban. Nice. If you aren't aware, Corriban is the best. There's a whole bunch of silly shenanigans you can get up to here. But we aren't going to do any of that. Silly shenanigans are for people who aren't as scared of lightsabers, and Corriban is home to the Sith Academy, so there are a lot of lightsabers of which to be scared. To get Usanis' dueling shield, we need to travel to the Sith Academy, into the Valley of the Dark Lords. And do you remember when I said Kashyyyk was the worst location to fight star map bosses? Well, I didn't lie. I forgot. Corriban is the worst location. They're about the same, but here they spawn even closer to us than on Kashyyyk. I might be able to go back and spawn him on Manaan, but that sounds like a lot of work. I definitely can't spawn him on Tatooine because, unlike Corriban, I actually remember where he ambushes me on Tatooine. And he only ambushes me there after I've gotten the star map, which activates the Leviathan and prevents me from grabbing Usanis' dueling shield before the Leviathan, which is the whole point of going to Corriban in the first place. I'll just beat him now.
Your words mean nothing to me.
What?
Well, that didn't work. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? A training montage? A training montage.
Oh, yeah? Ready? Huh? Ready?
Flawless. Victory. Okay, we're ready for the Leviathan. Now, we could finish Corriban, but I always do Corriban last. You know what that means. Sand. Sand castles, sand crawlers, and most importantly, sand people. I don't like to mess around with sand people, so we're going to take the diplomatic route. Step 1. Recruit HK-47. Step 2. Slaughter them like animals. Not very diplomatic, but okay. Step 3. Disguise yourselves as said animals. Step 4. Probably stop referring to them as animals. Step 5. Okay, seriously, what the hell's going on here? Step 6. Reload a previous save where the sand people aren't bugged. Step 7. Disguise yourselves as a bunch of upstanding young gentlemen. And finally, Step 8. Watch the diplomacy master at work. That was beautiful. I'm sorry, what were we doing? Right, star maps. Travel to the sandy area. No, the other sandy area. Talk to Comad Fortuna. Herd some banthas. Slaughter some upstanding young gentlemen.
You asked for this!
Herd the banthas some more. And then...
Achuta. Wonga kunbistur.
Okay.
Jedi
And fight a dragon. That was a close one. So, with Tatooine complete, it's time for the Leviathan.
It's the Leviathan. Saul Kareth's vessel.
Yes. Thank you, Karth. And we're soft-locked. For some reason, this cutscene is broken. And on top of that, the whole screen is black. Let's try that one more time.
It's the Leviathan. Saul Kareth's vessel.
Thanks again, Karth. And it broke again. Let's try saving and loading. Well, that's better, but we're still soft-locked. After some research, I managed to figure out that Karth is the problem.
They're waiting for you inside.
Yes. Thank you, Karth. This glitch appears to be a result of me skipping the Jedi training.
They're waiting for you.
The only save I have before Dantooine is all the way back at the start of the game. And I am not doing all of this over again. I don't know if there's a way to fix Karth, so instead, we're gonna have to skip the Leviathan. Hey. Thanks, Karth. Which means, it's time to talk about hotshots. Now, I am not at all qualified to explain hotshots to you. But basically, we're going to teleport my character from my current save to a previous one. Since the Leviathan only triggers when flying to other planets, we'll just teleport there. Why was I worried about the Leviathan again? So, on Corriban, we need Master Uthar to like us, so he'll take us to the star map. There are a billion ways to do this that are all really easy, so let's just skip forward to the tricky bits.
Indeed.
Master Uthar is basically in love with us now.
Well done.
And he gives us our final trial.
You have but one final test.
Wow. We're going into a Sith tomb alone. That's a totally original idea that has never been done before.
Very well.
Unlike in KotOR 2, we will actually be going in alone.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Our only real goal is to get the star map. But in order to do that, we need to brave the deadly Terran Todic. Or we could just do that. We also need to kill this raid.
Mine laid and ready.
And finally, we need to die. Well, we needed to see where Uthura spawns. Dying is just a happy accident. That should do it.
Mine laid and ready.
Are you serious? Mines don't blow up if you spawn in them. Duly noted. And that's Corriban.
Your enemy lies dead at your feet, and you are victorious.
Since we found the final star map, we have the coordinates of the Starforge. I don't know if the Leviathan is still lurking in hyperspace for us, but I never activated the trigger for it on the save files, so let's cross our fingers. Thank God.
The Starforge.
But Karth is still broken.
They're waiting for you inside.
It's okay though, because it isn't a soft lock anymore. If we just save and reload, everything works like normal. We've crash landed on Lahan, which is perfect, because we aren't even remotely ready to take on the Starforge. I'm going to need my secret weapon. But first, we need to handle the Rakata situation. There are two Rakatan factions. For simplicity, we'll just call them the Goodies and the Baddies. The Goodies want us to save their Goodie friend, which requires killing all the baddies. And the Baddies want us to slaughter all the Goodies. And my gut is telling me to skip all this nonsense with a DLZ. But that's lame. Let's do this. I glossed over it earlier, but my party is actually pretty tough now. With the environmental bastion armor, we are immune to most forms of elemental damage. But most importantly, we're immune to heat damage. And plasma grenades just so happen to deal 100% pure, unadulterated heat damage. I honestly didn't think that was going to be possible. Anyway, time to grab our secret weapon, which is inside the Rakatan Temple. Now we need to get to the top level, and we're on the mid-level. But first, we need to go to the bottom level and unlock the top level. I thought we weren't allowed to level. Shut up. Stealthing through areas in KotOR 1 is pretty tricky, because you can't enter new areas unless your party is nearby. So even if I can sneak through, my party usually can't. But the layout of this temple is perfect. The entrance and top and bottom exits are all stacked on top of each other, which means my party can stay here and still be close enough when I activate the loading zones. There she is, my secret weapon.
I knew you'd come for me.
Oh yeah, Bastila is evil now. I can't not spoil that part. She's my secret weapon. If I stay true to the Jedi Code, Bastila will escape to the Starforge. But if I side with her and betray my friends...
Don't do this, kid.
A true Jedi would never bow down to the Sith. Kill her.
She'll accompany us to the Starforge to face DMFM. Whoops. But it's okay. Bastila is way better than Juhani. She's got a double-bladed lightsaber, she's level 18. Level 18? And now I think you're starting to understand why she's my secret weapon. Bastila starts at level 3, and the game can't have you fighting a level 3 at this stage of the game, so the game levels her up for you. Hey, that falls firmly within the rules. I didn't level her up, the game did. So, with our secret weapon in tow, let's go to the Starforge. The Starforge is filled with all sorts of scary enemies. Sith apprentices, Dark Jedi, Sith troopers, in red armor. Oh my god! Even though we have a level 18 on our side, the game was balanced for us to have 3 of them.
Yes?
In several areas, the enemies just keep spawning in. There does seem to be a limit, but this is going to take a while. Where possible, I try to keep myself alive in order to skip some of the longer waves. But in other areas, it's best to just wait. Here, for example, if we go any further, we'll have to face 3 Dark Jedi at the same time. And I'm already struggling to fight them one at a time.
What?
What can I do?
Eventually, we fight our way to the command center, where Malak's apprentices are waiting for us. Now, Bastila isn't immune to heat damage like mean old Candaris, but she's also level 18 and has over 250 hit points. So she can tank a few plasma grenades. Once I manage to get everyone in a good position, we make short work of them.
What?
This is the final stretch. From now on,
You must go to face Malak without me.
we're on our own. Just 6 health and a prayer. And look who it is. It's Darth motherfucking Malak. He's all scared to fight us.
I acted out of fear. I did not want to face you.
He's convinced that we're some powerful Sith Lord.
You have been a thorn in my side from the moment I seized the mantle of Dark Lord from your feeble grasp.
I don't think he realizes that Bastila and Candaris have been helping me this whole time, and that I've just been along for the ride, but I'll take it. Since he's all scared of us, we've got to defeat the infinite waves of droids being pumped out by the Starforge first. And that sounds like it's gonna take a while. Let's see if we can't speed this up. There we go. It's finally time to face Darth motherfucking Malak.
Once again, we shall face each other in single combat.
Let's break down the fight, shall we? I have 6 health, and Malak has 327. I have hundreds of medpacks to heal me to full health, and Malak probably isn't even capable of dealing less than 6 damage. I have Usanis' dueling shield, and Malak has Force Lightning, which does electricity damage that goes right through Usanis' dueling shield and can't miss. I forgot to buy the electrical capacitance shield, which was supposed to make me immune to electricity, and Malak has Throw Lightsaber, which does 20 to 120 damage and doesn't miss. I am wielding dual Cassisvet's heavy pistols, and Malak is a level 20 Sith Lord with Master Jedi Defense and a lightsaber. I am starting to get really worried about my chances, and Malak has Master Force Jump, allowing him to jump attack me from over 10 meters away. But, I got mines, baby, let's go. Wow, that was easy. I'm kidding, of course. That was phase 1. I'll let Malak explain.
See the bodies? The Starforge corrupts what remains of their power and transfers the dark taint to me.
Yep, he's got 9 health bars. And I am screwed. If this cutscene wasn't here, I might have time to lay enough mines down to take out his next health bar.
Mine laid and ready.
Then just rinse and repeat for the remaining 7 health bars.
Mine laid and ready.
But, as it is, the cutscene teleports me to Malak's location, and I barely have enough time to escape. What do I do? Wait. That's it. If I just rearrange the letters, the answer was right in front of me this whole time. I have enough time to escape. Malak might have more health, higher damage, better stats, and a more refined jawline. But if he can't catch me, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm laid and ready. I'm laid and ready. Mine. Ready, ready. I'm laid and ready. Mine. Ready. Mine laid and ready. Mine laid and... Laid and ready. Mine laid. Mine laid and... Mine laid and... Mine laid and ready.
Impossible. You cannot be beaten. You are no nothing, and I am nothing.
Can you beat Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, without leveling up? Yes. Yes, you can. Thanks for watching.